you're having an amazing day. Gonna test out my technologies here. I'm gonna try to keep up with the comments. I'm streaming to 2 different locations today, so let's see if I can keep up with everything. I only have about an hour today to do this live stream. Just wanted to do a couple quick updates, see how everyone's doing out there. Gotta test out my sound here. I could never find my live stream. The wonders of technology. There we go. Let's see what we got here. How's everyone doing out there today? Some weird and wild weather we're having today. Uh-oh, getting an error here. There we go. Just getting things going here, just trying to find my live stream, make sure. Okay. Get the chat up here. So today is the 999 Stargate portal. Been having a lot of energies coming through. The cosmic rays are amping up. The Schumann resonance is spiking. How'd you all sleep last night? I slept about 10 hours. I was checked out Greg Prescott in 5D this morning. He posted something about a major spike in the Schumann resonance. I think it went up to about 100 hertz or something like that. It's usually about 7.3, 7.8 hertz. Been having a lot of dreams. I slept about 10 hours. He posted something about sleeping 10 hours, and then he had a dream about lions, and it made me remember. So I had a lot of vivid dreams last night, but one in particular that really stood out. I was filming a river by where I lived, and this huge sea lion came up out of the river. And of course I made up a story in my mind how that was possible, being in a dream. But I thought the lion of the sea lion, it was very symbolic, but it was a very sacred creature. So today's the new moon in Virgo. Virgo, the Virgin, in September. And September is a month of completion. Month where all these energies from July and August, the eclipse energies, the Lionsgate 8-8, the 7th wave, anything, all these waves are converging into a cycle of completion. And also this concept, which is really coming out in the public, this concept of time travel, that we're all time travelers here in this matrix. Now I want you to think of this word matrix, because a lot of people don't know where that word came from. Now you want to see the matrix is matrix. So you want to split words up. You know, if you study linguistics, you know, ma, the M-A, which is like mama, mother. But Ma was always water. You know, it symbolized water, like marine, Mary, mariner. And trix was symbolized, was a word for the divine or sacred. Hey, Mice Guy, how you doing? Yes, I have some good news for you. And the good news is the Matrix, the false Matrix ended. We are now traveling into the real Matrix. Now there is no false Matrix or real Matrix, but the energies are amping up. We're definitely at the in the time of revelation. All things are being revealed. All things hidden. Not only negative, but the positive timelines are being revealed. So all things have to come out into the light. My skies, 5D's having a cosmic cloud event over them. That's cool, I think. Yeah, there's definitely some energies manifesting for this new moon. The magnetic field around the Earth is basically what people say weakening, but it's lessening as the Schumann resonance spiking, and we're entering into what will be the 0 point energies. The energies of source. Yes, the angels are revealing themselves because we are the angels. You know, this angelic fire is coming, you know, manifesting into our body. This time of fire, the Merkaba is being activated. It's a time of remembering. I'm just taking notes here so that I don't, some things I wanted to talk about. I only have about a half hour today. I wanted to do a live stream last night, but around 8:39 my eyes were just on fire. I could barely keep them open. So the eyes are connected to the kidneys. I was going through a bit of a cleansing, a kidney release. So a lot of people are feeling this energy in their eyes, like having trouble see, a burning in the eyes, fogginess. And in Chinese medicine, the eyes are connected to the kidney channel, the kidney meridians. So this is water again, the element of water. You know, the matrix, the true matrix, the divine matrix is revealing itself to us in the end of linear time. So these timelines are merging, what we call timelines, because time is just a construct of the matrix, of the false matrix. This linear time is part of the experiment, but in this time of the event, in this time of the revealing, in this time of timelines merging and shifting, we are time travelers from the past and the future, manifesting into this time of the great shift of this great event into the new earth and into Nova Gaia, New Atlantis. So yes, certain codes are being awakened in your DNA, are being activated. Part of this this galactic wave, or what we call galactic rays, galactic radiation coming from the source, coming from the creator, you know, the pure awareness of the unborn mind, which you are one with. So this concept of time, so we symbolize time. Let's see if you can see this. And we'll keep it going. A wave. That's why water and time kind of going hand in hand. This wave. You're talking about the ringing in the air, my sky. I think the ringing, yeah, there's no concern. That's the crystal palace, and that's light codes too that you're hearing. In the Taoist arts, we say one ear is the call of the tiger, the other ear is the call of the dragon. So right now, in this fire time, in this awakening of the angelic fire, you'll hear the call of the dragon, which is coming from the crystal palace, which is in the center of the brain. If you follow that sound back to the source, you'll follow that back to the still point, where then you will merge with the silence, because from the silence, from the void, comes sound. So what you want to do is relax the mind, empty the mind, and just allow that sound to carry you back to its source, back to that still center. So this symbol of time, the sine wave, that is actually what living in sin originally meant, which is separation, because you needed the, let me draw a line through the center. So that's the what we call the one law, the rise and fall, and through that center. But if you look at, see, this is a two-dimensional representation of time. And the sine wave, everything is a wave. All particles are a wave. All sound is wave, light's a wave. But this is just a symbol. This symbolizes so that we can represent it in 2D, so that we can experience in 3D. But in 3D, it's a spiral. How Nassim Haramein shows the spiraling, all things are a spiral. Well, that's 3D. Now when we go into 4D, 5D, it's a sphere. Because like Walter Russell would always teach that everything expands as a sphere. We can symbolize that as a circle. So everything expands out from that still center. We'll put some arrows. Like sound, see, everything expands out. The feminine is the expansion. So everything expands as a sphere and compresses as a square. It's a linear. The masculine is linear, and the feminine is what you call spherical, but spatial. My Sky, you could, as much weight as need be. I mean, it's a phenomenon, and yes, we are creating our reality. We are creating our perception. So, just be aware of how it makes you feel. Don't just try not to go into fear, but whatever fear, or not so much fear. I'm perceiving that, because the ego is not necessarily a bad thing. When we say I am, that's the ego, but the ego can kind of take control and, either create self-importance or self-pity. Those are just two different sides of the same coin, which that's when that positive ego, the positive self, the true self, the higher self, the pure self, converts to that negative polarity, which is I am better than other people, or I am less than other people. So as long as we don't get caught in these cycles of separation, so if it makes you feel good, keep doing it. It's basically whatever serves you, keep that going. And whatever doesn't serve you, you gotta let it go. That this is the time of dropping. But yeah, we are definitely the cause of all effects. Our consciousness. Hey Heather, thanks for coming. Much love, my friend. You can always watch the replay of this. I don't have much time today either. Only about another 20-30 minutes. But I'm glad you stopped by. Be in peace, be in love, live from the heart. This time of the shift is human. Being a real human means living from the heart center. Yeah, keep creating your beauty. This is the time of art. Thank you, My Sky, for your creations and putting out your messages. And Yes. Yeah, that's what we're here for, is to bring joy to all of humanity, to bring peace, bring joy, bring this love, because we are the light workers, we are the angelic humans. Um, we are here for each other. So everything we do, you know, we're all gonna remember our missions here, but basically, people get caught up in remembering, like, what is my purpose, what is my mission, but just know that you are living your mission, regardless if you know it or not. You know exactly what your mission is, to be a true human being, which means living from the heart, the middle dantian, the heart center, you know, the fire in the center of your being, your passion, your creativity, your love, your truth, and your art. Because we are all creative, we are all creators, we are all artists. That's one thing that I try to get the human race to understand, is that you are a creative being, you're an artist in your own way, and just find what you're passionate about and live your art. Because anything can be an art. I teach a Taoist art called Kunlun, which, you know, is a water path. I also do photography and play guitar. I mean, everything, even each moment is art. You're living your art. And I also practice and teach the art of tea, the tea ceremony, the 5 elements of tea. Everything is an art. When they say Gong Fu, that's really the art of something that takes effort and time to master. But all things, you know, there's the Gong Fu of tea, the Gong Fu of martial arts, the Gong Fu of painting. So, you know, we are living art. You know, our bodies are a temple. Our bodies are a work of art from from the collective creator, from the true source, which is the greatest artist of all. The great mystery, we call it. So in this realm we live in, we'll get back to you know, expansion. You know, the greatest one of the greatest manifestations of this compression and expansion in science is what we call supernova. And a supernova is a star compressing and collapsing into its singularity, into its one still magnetic center, and then it explodes out, you know, a supernova. You know, we're going into this nova. We've been compressing the fire, and the water is the release. That is rainbow body, that's light body, is that what do we call it? Like an exploding star. You know, it's this. In an instant, you expand out to the ends of the universe, out to the ends of all verses, all sounds. Because even light is a sound. So if you think about it, you know, we represent a sound wave like this, but you have the source of the sound, say it's this little gong here, and you hit this little guy. It's not just going in one wave, it's expanding out as a sphere from this would be the still center. This vessel is sitting here still until you ring it, you don't hear anything, and then you follow the sound expands out as a sphere, and then returns to the source as a square, as linear. So that's why we're in linear time. We're returning to the source. We're compressing back into that still center. Yes, I'm sure it's pretty amazing. There's a lot of energies around in the air. These the crystals are manifesting right now. The you know, we have like a mist in the air right now, and these are all crystalline water molecules that are carrying these energetic waves through the atmosphere. Cool. Sounds good, my sky. Look forward to seeing it. Are your skies clear today, or are they? We're totally overcast. Is it mist? It's raining. Temperatures dropped about 20 degrees. So I was watching Todd Medina with Shekinah Rose, and they were talking about today's Stargate. You know, check out his channel on Facebook, Soulagy, like Soulagy, and they're talking about how we are time travelers, and about September. Yes. Very cool, my sky. Yeah. So Todd Medina put out a video that a lot of the messages he's getting is that September is the time of completion. It's the completing of a cycle, which is also what I've been getting. Yeah, there's a saying in the I Ching. Look it up if you get a chance. The I Ching is an ancient Chinese book, the Book of Change or the Book of Fortune, where there's a line in the translation of the book that says clouds follow dragon. So the clouds are actually following the dragons, the dragon lines in the sky, the dragon lines, because not only do we have the dragon lines on the earth, the ley lines, there's also in the magnetic field ley lines. In the firmament there's the dragon lines in the firmament, you know, as above so below. Oh cool. Photonic my sky says photonic rainbow light clouds around the sun are developing right now. Yeah, we had a massive double rainbow a couple days ago, and some other weird phenomenon. Like my buddy and I walked out my back door the other day, and it was raining, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I mean, there were clouds like way miles and miles and miles away, but this rain was like basically coming from nowhere. Yes, the ethereal cosmic energy entities. I like that. Yes, that they are from the etheric realm, from the ethers, which is from basically the field of energy that is everywhere. Ether. Yeah, there's a lot of hey, Adventure Diva, thanks for coming. Glad you can make it. Cloak, they say I'm assuming Diva being feminine. Cloak crafts in the sky, which my sky films a lot, and I see a lot of there's definitely more and more of these crafts that are manifesting. I've been researching this stuff for 30 years. My sky says they reveal themselves to me. I can see these entities and film them on the regular. Yep. Yeah, every day more and more phenomenon is being revealed in the sky, just showing that we are definitely in a new time, a new Earth. I mean, some of the most beautiful. I've been photographing and filming clouds and sunsets for 30 years, 25, 30 years, and I've been seeing things that I've never seen in my life, just layers of different kinds of clouds and different formations in the clouds. And so from I'll get back to when the sound, because the sound and light, you have that source of light, that still white magnetic light. See, the white is the source of light, but you don't see that white light. That white light, you see what light reflects off of, but that one white light expands out from that still point as a sphere, and then it travels through a prism, which is the ether, the etheric realm, and that prism then projects the 7 colors of the rainbow, and then those 7 colors become the billions of colors that we see, the 50 shades of gray. So from that, you know, the gong, it's a sphere, because no matter which side, 360 degrees around the source, you're going to hear that sound emanate. And then that sound returns back as a square. You know, the square, you know, you have the square wave, and then you have the fluid wave, like this, the one law. Now this is the rise and fall of civilization. These are the seasons. In the Taoist arts, we call the one law, or the law of change. Everything, your heartbeat, the pulse of the universe follows this one law. And then the center is the flat line. And it's funny, you see like on an EKG the heartbeat, and then it's like, that means you're alive, and then, you know, the flat line means that, you know, the person's deceased. But that's still, it's not death. That is the eternal life. That is the source. That still point in the center. It appears, or it seems like death. It seems like the end. It seems like nothing. It is not a thing, but it is beyond, say, up here in this realm is something, and down here, the underworld, this is conscious, subconscious, something, nothing, and then this is beyond all things. This is the doorway in between worlds. That's why in meditation we get closer and closer as the alpha waves and the beta waves, the delta, you know, the waves become a slower pulse. Plus, you know, this is DNA, you know, the spiral of DNA. The code is in the light. The code is in the etheric, which manifests into this realm, into the physical realm. Awesome. Nice guys, having an etheric entity event parade. Sounds like fun. We do love our parades. Whoa. Yeah, Venture Diva, so much hidden truths of cymatics. Yeah, I studied cymatics for a long time. Greg Braden talks a lot about cymatics, you know, the science of sound and sacred geometry. It is pretty amazing. Emoto was working with the sounds and how they affect the structure of water, and yeah, there's a lot of information coming out on the cymatics, how sound affects matter, how it's sound that actually creates matter. So my Sifu years ago taught us that, you know, from the void emanated sound. So like in the beginning was the word. You know, all of the sacred traditions, they had some kind of original sound, which, you know, some would say Om or Hu, Om. And that sound reached a certain frequency or a certain level, a certain resonance, where that sound then became light. And they say the speed of light. I really recommend Dr. Walter Russell. He wrote a book back in the 50s called The Secret of Light. And he talked a lot about how anything moving, anything that's in this pattern, in that wave pattern, that wave function, is a simulation. He called it, what did he call it? I can't remember. He wasn't using the word, well, he did say it was simulated motion, that that nothing is really moving, you know, that it's a mirror effect. It's actually not things moving through time, but he kind of explains it like it's a all phenomenon of light and sound and physical matter, particles. It's kind of like in a movie where each frame is a still frame, but our perception puts it together, and then it looks like, you know, real time or 3D, or things are moving, because the guru will say, like, how do you know the difference between what's real and what's not real, or what's true and what's false? And he would say what's not real changes in time, and what's real never changes. That's why truth never changes. Truth is real. Truth is the source. Truth is always was, always will be. I'll pop a link in the chat for the Walter Russell's book. He also he wrote a bunch of books, The Divine Iliad. Anything that he wrote, I highly recommend. He was one of the world's greatest geniuses. He was basically written out of history, because he taught people that God was within, and that, you know, our true potential, and he spoke the truth. So much of his work was hidden, you know, was destroyed or suppressed, we can say. I think suppressed is a better term. Let's see, it was The Secret of Light. So also, one of the things Todd Medina and Shekinah Rose talked about, these crystal cities of lights that people are starting to see, especially in Sedona, that this is part of the new Earth, that these crystals, the crystals on this Earth, are from Lemuria and Atlantis. You know, all crystals that we have here, you know, like this double terminated crystal, put it on the heart center, are connected to these crystalline cities of light that are starting to manifest. People are seeing them up in the clouds. People are seeing them in the distance. There's a woman, Jeannie Townsend, that wrote a book about the cities of lights in Sedona, that this is one of the places that the first cities will start appearing. Venture Diva says, have you ever read Charles Fort's Complete History? Talks a lot about phenomena, like metaphysics. There was a mention, talk about the huge boulders falling from the sky in slow motion. No, I haven't, but thanks for that info. I'll check him out. Charles Fort, Complete History. Make a note of that. Your show, how cool. Yeah, yeah, all things, there's so many synchronicities daily. Yeah, we are yeah, Adventure Diva, maybe we are living in a simulation. Yeah, like there's a good book called The Physics of Immortality, written by Frank Tipler, that he says that, yeah, it's definitely a high probability that we are living in some kind of simulation, regardless if it's a computer simulation, or if it's organic, or if it's in the mind of source. It's definitely some kind of, there's enough evidence now that we are living in some kind of simulation based on the code is 64, the 64 codes in our DNA, the 64-bit information like computer simulation. You see this over and over. The I Ching with 64 codes, 64 hexagrams, which was 6. You know, the line is 6. You know, our carbon, our DNA. You know, the atom, 6 carbon, 6 protons, 6 neutrons. You know, that you see that over and over. The 666, the hexagram, the hexagon. You know, the hexagon on Saturn. You know, Saturn, some people believe is a dead star. That, you know, the moon Saturn matrix, the moon Saturn, look that up, moon Saturn matrix, is creating this false matrix. It was an experiment that we're at the end of the experiment where we will transition beyond the moon Saturn frequencies, the construct of the false matrix. Yeah, a lot of things being suppressed. Now, I've been checking out this week Jeffrey Dougherty's channel, you know, Rex Bear the Leak Project, Derek from Global Witness. They've been putting out a lot of good information this week. About a lot of the suppressed information, about this adrenochrome. All of these things are being revealed because all the negative has to be exposed for the human race to heal from thousands of years of abuse and torture. Now, Michael Hill, I believe his name is, he was talking about the Anunnaki this week. And a lot of info, you know, Enki and Enlil from the ancient Sumerian text. Sorry about that, guys. Let me do this. That's a call I've been waiting for an appointment, but so I'll have to be heading out here in a few minutes. So check out Jeffrey Dougherty's channel, but the Michael Lee Hill, I think his name is, who works with the Anunnaki. Yeah, Michael Lee Hill. He's talking about the Anunnaki call themselves like Saham. It's like Saham, which is like Sam. So it makes me think, you know, a lot of this info, like from Nathan Sanders talking about the Sam, you know, being the creator. So these potentially are creator gods, you know, in lower G, like the higher dimensional beings that created this moon Saturn matrix. How can you see it? Yeah, there to anything in this realm, there's a positive and negative. So the chemtrails, nice guy asked about is everything about the chemtrails and victimizing us. So the victimization is part of the false matrix. That's what we're waking up from, and the chemtrails are helping us to wake up from this false matrix. Now, they're you know, some people believe that the chemtrails are being propagated by AI, but also, again, you know, we live in this duality universe. So the yin and the yang, with anything that manifests in this realm, the positive and the negative manifest together. So regardless of the intent behind the chemtrails, there's going to be a positive outcome. All things that have a negative intent, in the end, something positive is going to come out of it. Because, you know, our true self, you know, we have to transcend positive and negative ultimately. But yeah, the chemtrails is a huge, just like 9/11 woke a lot of people up. You know, we all have what's called the internal map of reality, which is, you know, what we tell ourselves reality is. They make up our personal history and what we believe reality to be. And a lot of times, for that to shift into a higher level, we have to go through what people call the dark night of the soul, which usually is something very traumatic, because it's like, oh, I got a splinter. That's not going to wake you up. But intense things like losing someone that you love, someone you're very attached to, all these things with torture, rape, all these negative, the dark, think of the darkest things. Something positive potentially will come out of that, because most starseeds have gone through major trauma, suffer from PTSD, but PTSD is not ultimately a negative thing, because going through that intense energy raises your awareness to a higher level and opens you up to the higher realms. Not that I'm telling people that it's good to go out and traumatize people, because I'm about healing and peace and truth and love. But we can't be victims anymore. We're not a product of our past. Our past were lessons that carried us into today. We're becoming illuminated beings, which we always were, but we forgot. So now we're remembering our true selves, and we're remembering that we're infinite, multi-dimensional beings of infinite light and love. And we are now manifesting that in the realm, and as each being, each entity wakes up to this truth, into this reality that we are infinite multi-dimensional beings, we are angelic beings having a human experience, that it's going to exponentially affect all of humanity. And as each person wakes up, we're hitting a critical mass to where it's not going to take the whole human race to wake up to shift us into this new earth fully. We're already fluctuating between the new earth and the old earth, and it's that acceleration is speeding up, like a spiral. We're spiraling into that still center. So as this wave gets tighter, smaller, faster, it's compressing. We slowly compress. Like a few people, someone would wake up 1% every 100 years, and then that percentage rose, and then like 1985 we jumped to a new timeline where that wave compressed. Now it was less time, less, more people were waking up, and now it's almost undetectable that these waves, it almost appears as if we are in that still center of the wave. So like a Zen master used to teach us that nothing is as it seems, nor is it otherwise. So it's not this and it's not that. So we get caught in the paradox of light and dark. Is it light? Is it dark? Am I good? Am I bad? Are we good? Are they evil? Is this, so it says, how do we transcend, the Zen Buddhists, how do we transcend good and bad, right and wrong? And the Buddha said, in the heavens and on the earth, I alone am the world honored one. And that's not egotistically, that just, he woke up to the fact that I am all that is, and I am nothing and everything, but I am beyond even this duality. The great mystery, you can't talk about it. We create concepts to explain that which is beyond the light and the dark, but your true self is beyond light and the dark. Your higher self, your multi-dimensional self, your true self resides in that still point, resides in the higher dimensionals, what we call higher, lower, but ultimately that singularity is everywhere, and it's within the center of your being, and you're surrounded by it. So there is no separation. Living in sin is living in time. There is no time. There's only now. This is eternity. So thank you all for watching. I'm going to have to end this for now. I have to head out. But thank you everyone for joining me. Much love, my friends. Be in peace. Try to keep your mind, your awareness in your heart center, the center of your chest. It's funny, 9 people are watching on 999. So happy Stargate, happy new moon, happy time of Virgo, the Virgin, the waters, all these waters energies. Thank you, Julie. Namaste, my friends. The Virgin energy, the water, the feminine, the divine feminine is manifesting out into this realm. We're all living from that divine and balancing the yin and the yang, the positive, the negative. Shoo. So thank you all for all you're doing to help all beings through this transition into the light, into the life, and to the love. So be in peace, live from the heart, be connected to all things, my friends. Much love.